Libra, welcome to your weekly horoscope for April 20th to the 26th, 2026. My name's Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer. Libra, this is a relationship defining week for you, but not just in the way you might expect. This isn't about surface level harmony or keeping the peace. This is about truth, boundaries, power, and the kind of connections you are choosing to build moving forward. What's being activated now is your relationship to others and your relationship to yourself within those dynamics. So, we start the week off on April 20th with a heavy and undeniable activation in your seventh house of relationships, partnerships, one on one dynamics. We have Mercury forming a conjunction to both Mars and Saturn in Aries. While we are still very much in the Mars Saturn conjunction energy that we had on April 19th. So, this is pressure within relationships. This can be clarity. This could be you having honest, direct, and mature conversations about where you stand with someone. This could be very defining when we're talking about boundaries, commitments, or even you restructuring the foundation of a relationship so it can actually work long term. This is real relationship work. However, any relationships that are not solid can experience conflict, or you may experience some frustration or power struggles. You may feel triggered by someone else's actions, or you may feel like you're being pushed into a conversation that you didn't ask for. But the thing here is that avoidance is no longer an option. You cannot maintain peace by suppressing your needs. This is your moment to speak clearly, to stand firmly, and to stop over compromising just to keep things comfortable and just to keep the peace. Then we get to April 23rd, and there is a powerful shift into your eighth house of intimacy, shared resources, and emotional depth. We have Venus forming a conjunction to Uranus and Taurus for the final time. This is actually a breakthrough moment in how you connect. This could bring emotional clarity, breakthroughs in intimacy, or even unexpected financial shifts involving shared resources, or even something around debt, taxes, inheritance. Any type of money that is coming in from outside resources is in that eighth house. This may also show up as you feeling ready to release old emotional attachments or even patterns that have been keeping you stuck in some way. Libra, this is liberation through vulnerability. But you do have to watch for emotional instability, sudden changes in intimacy, or even feeling uncertain or exposed within a certain connection or relationship dynamic. You may feel like there's some sudden shifts within partnerships, but there could also be a lot of truths revealed at this time as well. So, this is a time to really ask yourself, am I holding on to this relationship because it's aligned or because it feels familiar? Because Uranus will not let you stay in an emotional pattern that limits your growth. Then we get to April 24th, and we have Venus entering your ninth house of expansion, belief systems, and higher perspective. This is where the energy begins to open up. This is inspiration. This is you feeling more optimistic, more open, more connected to a bigger version of yourself. You may feel drawn to learning or traveling or exploring new ideas, opening your mind to new beliefs or philosophical views. This is where your perspective expands, but you do have to watch for escapism or avoiding reality by focusing on what's out there instead of addressing what's right in front of you. Growth is important, but it doesn't replace responsibility. You do need both. Then we get to April 25th, and this is where the energy shifts in a really big way that is going to change your world for the next 8 years. Uranus officially enters your ninth house in Gemini, beginning a brand new cycle of intellectual and spiritual awakening. Your beliefs are about to evolve. This is innovation in your thinking. This is exploring new ideas, new philosophies, new ways of understanding the world. You may feel drawn to unconventional paths or inspired to break free from rigid belief systems that you have now or even once had. This is expansion. However, you do have to watch for instability in direction at this time over the next 8 years, questioning everything without grounding anything in. You don't need to abandon everything you believe, you need to refine it. Also, on April 25th, we have the sun in your eighth house, forming a square to Pluto in your fifth house of creativity, romance, and self expression. This is where emotional depth meets personal expression. You may feel tension between what you're experiencing internally and how you're expressing yourself externally. There may be power dynamics in romantic connections or a need to confront something deeper within yourself that could be affecting how you show up in some way. This can be deep transformation. This is you reclaiming your creative power and expressing yourself from a place of truth. However, you do have to watch for control or fear of vulnerability, holding back out of fear of being seen too deeply. But your power is in your authenticity. Then we get to April 26th, and we have Mercury in your seventh house, forming a square to Jupiter in your 10th house of career and public image. This brings tension between your relationships and your responsibilities. You may feel pulled between what someone else needs and what your career or public life is demanding from you. Conversations could feel overwhelming at this time, or it may feel like you're trying to balance too much at once. This is great for negotiation. This is finding a way to honor both your relationships and your ambitions. However, you do have to watch for overcommitting or saying yes to everything and stretching yourself too thin. You need to prioritize. Not everything can hold equal weight. And then also on the same day, we have Venus in your ninth house forming a sextile to Neptune in your seventh house. This is where connections can soften. This is compassion, understanding. This is where you begin to see your relationships from a higher perspective with more empathy and less judgment. This can be healing. So, Libra, this week is about truth and transformation within relationships, within your partnerships. You are being asked to show up more honestly, more clearly, and more authentically than ever before. While that may feel uncomfortable, it is necessary because the relationships that survive this week are the ones that are built to last. Libra, this week is not just about love, it's about alignment.